If you're racing Ironman somewhere hot this season, your fitness won't save you unless your body knows how to handle the heat. And that's where our heat training protocol comes in. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 proven tips to heat-proof your race performance without wrecking your training or recovery. I'm Coach Rob Wilby from Team Oxygenaddict. Let's get to it. Okay, now before we jump in, if you're preparing for your first Ironman, there's a link down in the show notes for a free online training seminar. It's 30 minutes of your time that I guarantee will massively increase your chances of success on Ironman race day. And I'd also love it if you'd subscribe to our channel. Right then, let's get started on these tips and how they can help you race in the heat on race day. Okay, so the first tip I've got for you is we need to think about a specific heat acclimation protocol, and we need to start that somewhere between 14 and 21 days out from race day. What we've found is if you do it further out than that, it probably isn't going to have much of a lasting effect. And also, as you're going to find out, it's very challenging to do a heat training protocol alongside keeping up your regular training, if you like, the training that you're trying to do in order to get fit. So if you start it much before that 14 to 21 day period, you're in the peak block of training ahead of your Ironman, so that's not ideal. And also it's going to have sort of diminishing returns for you. So that sort of 14-day period ties in really nicely with when you're going to be tapering. So you can start a couple of these sessions as you're approaching your big race day simulation. And then as you get into your taper, you can do a lot of the sessions in your taper according to the heat acclimation protocol that we're going to talk about. So what we find is over the 14 days, you can get extremely acclimated to the heat. And the effects of your heat acclimation tend to fade over really noticeably over 5 days. And to the point where after about 10 days, after finishing your heat training protocol, you probably only have got 50% of the benefits of that left. So what we're going to do is we're going to start somewhere in that 14 to 21 days before race day. We're going to end your heat training protocol probably 3 days before race day. And then that way you've got time to sort of get ready for race day, but you've still got all the benefits of your heat acclimation training. So the window is 14 to 21 days out through to about 3 days before race day itself. So we're going to stop that heat work 3 days before race day. My second tip here for you is to do little and often, easy sessions indoors. And again, it's separating out the idea of what you do for training from what you do for heat acclimation. And so initially we're going to look at very easy 30-minute zone 1 or 2 sessions on the turbo or on the treadmill. The key here is they're going to be different to how you would usually train on the turbo or the treadmill. The aim of this is to get your body really hot, to get your core temperature up, and essentially to make your body deal with being really hot. So you're going to have no fan on the turbo or the treadmill, and you're going to wear extra layers. You might have to build up to this 30-minute session to start with. Maybe 15 minutes is something that some of our athletes find they can deal with. You're going to build to the point where you're doing up to a 60-minute training session, and that's with no fan, that's with extra layers on. We find that these short, regular doses of heat work better and help you recover faster, more importantly, than just trying to do one really big, long session and try to acclimate to the heat that way. Now, remember, you're going to be doing this during the taper of the approach to your A race. So what you do here is really important. You don't want to be doing loads of extra training. Our race day taper protocol has you doing less than an hour of training every day. So it's the sessions that you do are going to be easy or steady, and they're just going to be really hot. So little and often is going to be the way forward to approach these. Third tip I've got for you. We're going to add a controlled sauna or hot water immersion after this heat acclimation session. So start this as soon as you can after you've done the hot workout. So you might need some forward planning here. We'll talk about the sauna first. I personally think that's a little bit more effective, but obviously it's much harder. Try and get into the sauna as soon as you've finished that workout. So let's say you've done a 30-minute easy workout you've been wearing extra layers, you've had no fan, you're already really hot and uncomfortable. The key here is you're going to get straight into the sauna and you're going to be extremely uncomfortable and hot in the sauna. We're going to start at about 5 minutes and we're going to build toward the point where you're tolerating the heat of the sauna for up to 30 minutes. But obviously there's a balance to be kept here between acclimating to the heat and the fact this is extremely difficult. So I've said here, start at 5 minutes. You might find if you go into the sauna and you're not very good at tolerating the heat, you might only last 1 minute on the first session and you have to build from there. And that's okay. But part of the thing to accept here is learning to judge the line between being extremely hot and uncomfortable and mentally learning to tolerate that, and judging when you're just too hot and uncomfortable and you've got to look for cues such as dizziness and overheating. If that starts to happen, you need to get out of the sauna and cool down immediately. And for that reason, I think it's a really good idea if you've got a training partner doing this with you or you've got a buddy with you. It's very easy for me to sit here in my air-conditioned room and say, just go into the sauna for 5 minutes when you've already done 30 minutes on the treadmill or on the trainer indoors wearing clothes. So be careful as you're doing this, but if you can build up toward the point across our 14 to 20 days, if you can build up to 30 minutes of sauna exposure, that's absolutely fantastic. Now, my fourth tip, I recognize not everybody has access to a sauna. It might be difficult. Your gym might have one and you might be able to go down to the gym and do the workout bike or the treadmill in the gym and then go straight into the sauna. I think very few people are likely to actually have a home sauna. So if you don't, that's okay. You can use hot water immersion as well. So the tip here is you're going to fill your bath with really hot water. So we're talking as hot as it is comfortable for you to be in here, really. And you're going to get in the bath up to your neck post-exercise. And again, we're going to ideally start with 5 minutes and we're going to aim to build to 30 minutes. It might be, again, that you can only do a couple of minutes or even 1 minute when you first try this. That's okay. Again, really important to stress, it's going to feel very uncomfortable and it's going to be mentally very, very challenging. You have to be aware of crossing over that line into the point where it might be dangerous and stopping well short of that. But the more focused on performance you are in the heat, the more well prepared you're going to be with the more heat training you can tolerate in training. So, am I saying you have to do this? Absolutely not. What I'm saying is, the more that you want to perform well on race day, the more chance you have of doing this if you have followed a heat acclimation protocol. So we're either using the sauna, we're either using the hot water protocol after you've done that bike session or run session indoors wearing extra layers. And the fifth tip here, and this is really important, once you've finished in the sauna or the hot water, you need to replace 1.5 times the weight that you've lost with cool water and strong electrolytes. So we're going to need to weigh yourself before the session, weigh yourself as you get out of the bath or as you get out of the sauna, work out what the weight loss is and aim to replace that with 1.5 times that weight loss. So if you've lost 1 kilo, you replace 1.5 kilos of fluid. If you lost 2 kilos, it's 3 kilos of fluid or 3 liters of fluid. So what we find here is this super compensation will help your plasma volume increase. That's one of the things that gives you better performance on race day. So make sure you've got that ready. Make sure you've weighed yourself before. Make sure you weigh yourself straight after. And then that way, you can really effectively, over the final 14 to 20 days of the lead up to the Ironman, get yourself in a place where you're really well acclimated to the heat before you go. And again, we're going to stop this protocol 3 days before race day so that you just return to normal. You're going to have all of the benefits of that heat training and give your body a break from that in the final 3 days as you prepare for Ironman race day. So listen, I hope this video has really helped you. In the comments below, I would really love to hear about your experiences racing in the heat, your experiences of doing heat training in the past. And if you're a first timer, maybe let us know what your worries are and we'll see what we can do to help you. And remember, please like and subscribe to the channel.